Welcome to this Wood Solutions Campus presentation on the grades and grading methods used in veneer-based products. Veneer-based products such as plywood and laminated veneer lumbers, LVL, are widely used in both appearance and structural applications. Face grades exist for plywood used in appearance applications, but these are rarely used for LVL. LVL is primarily seen as a structural product. When plywood and LVL are used in structural applications, their structural performance has to satisfy the requirements of the applicable engineering design standards. To do this, the material has to be tested to determine its strength characteristics. These characteristics are then provided as being equivalent to the particular stress grade. It is common for plywood to have a stress grade and they can be applied to LVL. However, with LVL, established stress grades may not be useful representations of performance, and industry-defined structural characteristics are also supplied.
Now the other critical aspect with plywood in particular is surface quality. So under Australian standards there are 4 veneer grades. There's an A grade, a B grade, a C grade and a D grade. An A grade is an appearance grade that's almost perfect. It's the Rolls-Royce of veneers. That's suitable for clear finishing and is often used in very expensive timber veneers and indoor panelling, doors and very expensive furniture. A B grade is a paint grade. So if you want a plywood product to be painted and you want it to perform particularly well, you order or you specify a quality B grade veneer. A C grade is a non-appearance grade, so it allows knots, it allows holes, it allows defects, it allows putty splits, but the surface must be filled and sanded. So for example, knot holes will be puttied and they'll be sanded, and a D grade is a non-appearance grade with open defects, so unfilled splits, unfilled holes.
So generally you'd use a D grade for concealed structural?
Absolutely. Bracing plywood, for example, is a good application for D grade product. It has purely a structural function with no aesthetic values.
So do these grades work across species?
They work across species, so regardless of the species, whether it's hardwood or softwood, the same grading rules apply.
The table shows detail of the 4 plywood face grades A, B, C and D as discussed in the previous video. It also lists the less frequently used S grade. Note that the grade definition of S grade material is based on a specification agreed between the supplier and the company. Structural plywood is produced to Australian New Zealand standard. The stress grading system in the standard allows for the application of characteristic strengths and the modulus of elasticity to plywood manufactured from a wide range of timber species. The stress grades produced include F8, F11, F14, F17, F22, F27 and F34. These stress grades can then be combined with the required face grades to make a material suitable for a project. So DD grade plywood with an F11 stress grade means that the material is likely to be in a concealed structural application. AB grade plywood with an F34 stress grade may be used in an application that has a high appearance and structural requirements. LVL may not have a stress grade, but the producers will publish the material structural properties and generate a span table. Composite products such as I-beams may be similar. The material structural properties and span tables are supplied by the producer, but a stress grade is not given. Information about the grades and other characteristics can then be marked on the plywood sheet or piece of LVL.
Well, the first thing to look for is the Australian standard. In the case of plywood, if it's structural plywood, it will be AS NZS 2269. If it's exterior plywood, it'll be AS NZS 2271. Marine plywood is AS NZS 2272 and interior plywood is AS NZS 2270. So look for the standard. Secondly, there will be some additional information. That will include the type of glue, which is very important. If you remember I said before A, B, C, D. So look for exterior use, look for the type A bond. Secondly, you will have the face and back veneer grade. So you'll see letters, for example, C, D. It means that the face grade is C and the back veneer is a quality D. Marine plywood, for example, will be AA. It means that there's an A grade veneer both face and back. You'll also find the stress grade. So with structural products, it's absolutely critical that you use the correct stress grade, or potentially you could have product installed that's not adequate for the job and won't carry the structural design load. So very, very important. And also it will identify the manufacturer. So again, if there's any problems, any recall, any issues that need to be chased up, you know who the manufacturer is and you can follow up with them.
Do they often include a batch number or some other date or product identification number?
Oftentimes it'll be a batch number or a date of manufacturer, so you can isolate that product and identify where and when it was manufactured.
In summary, plywood and LVL products are used in appearance and structural applications. For appearance applications, plywood face grades exist. These include A, B, C, D and S grade material. For structural applications, stress grades exist for plywood and can apply to LVL. These include F8, F11, F14, F17, F22, F27 and F34. And industry-defined structural characteristics and span tables are supplied for LVL and similar composite products.